Welcome to episode 11 of the Paper Plate Show with Stegall and Sanchez. Special guest, Montreal Alouettes quarterback, undefeated, undisputed, Davis
What?
Alexander. Let's go. Welcome.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be on here with you two legends, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you
Yeah.
being a great quarterback in this league. Davis just talked about it, 9-0, and this last victory. If you never watched the CFL game, and if you seen the scene after the game, you would have thought the Montreal Alouettes won the championship. I mean, guys are around you, they're throwing water on you. They're basically saying, "Our guy is back now." Describe that scene and what that meant, not only for you, but for the team and for the city of Montreal and for the Montreal Alouettes fans. Just talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, these guys know how much they mean to me. I love these guys. I love this locker room to death. I'd do anything for them. It was super cool that we were all able to celebrate that moment together. I know the record kind of gets talked about, Davis Alexander, but it's completely a Montreal Alouettes thing, and it's a city of the Montreal. The support we've gotten, you know, I think we have a losing record at home right now, and I think we still got 22,000 something fans, and they were lights out, electric. They just believe in us, and it's special to see us come together after just a tough year of ups and downs. But we're just playing good ball, and we're excited out there.
Who was the leader of the clown show, throwing water and acting up there on the sidelines?
I think it was Tyson. I think it was Tyson. Then I saw some J line. I mean, all the receivers got into it. It was funny because I was actually having a pretty serious conversation with one of our teammates like 5 seconds before that. And then next thing I know, I think they need the ball or they ran the ball out and they're throwing water on me and all that. So it was a funny moment for sure.
It's almost like your team is saying, we're ready to go on this championship run now. And no disrespect to the other quarterbacks, but your team defense, you saw the interviews after the game. They're saying we're on this championship run now. And I know you're not thinking that far ahead, but you coming back, do you feel that it's time to go? We're ready to make this championship run?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to be honest, if I were to tell you I'm not thinking about it, I would be lying. I know we're not supposed to look ahead, but like every single night, and every single morning when I wake up, the thing I worry most about is somehow getting back to that Grey Cup, and
Mm.
because that's how you got to approach it. I know you're not necessarily looking ahead at different opponents and all that because we got Ottawa twice, and then we finished with Winnipeg in the peg, but. I mean, it's right there in front of us, and we've worked so hard to put ourselves back in this position. We feel like we're pretty hot right now, but the most important thing is in our locker room, we believe that we can always get better, and we hold each other accountable every single day. If you don't give us your best, we're going to call you out, and we're just not going to put up with it. So that's the culture that we've built, and honestly, it started in 23. It honestly started in 22, but started in 23, the incredible run that we went on with Cody, and he was our fearless leader. The FU just watch. That's the mentality that's the mentality we've kept all year. And, there will probably be some other things that will come out as the year goes on. You'll see. But we feel like it's in our locker room and it's built in us, and it's on us to go finish the job. Nothing's going to be handed to us.
You talked about, I think the quote was, "We have a killer mentality in this team right now. And we're confident." Most teams that lose five in a row, you don't come back, win one game, with you back there and say we have a killer mentality. We're confident. What is it about your personal, the way you carry yourself, your confidence level that you bring in?
Yeah, I mean, we believe because of how we worked and how we've worked throughout the whole year. Starting in May, we believe we can compete with anyone, and not just compete, but we believe that we should be able to go out there and win every single game. If we do what we're supposed to do, and again, a lot of that starts with accountability in our locker room, day to day basis. It's amazing seeing the work that people are putting in. I mean, I think at one point we had 10 starters down on offense and defense. Some of those guys play specials. You could look at 13, 14 players down. And, I think before the game, we had, we line up with all our injured players and our practice squad players, and dap up the guys as they come around. And I think at one point, it might have been the Saskatchewan game, I was sitting next to Tyson and Ento. And I kind of looked and I was like, oh my gosh, we have an all-star lineup that's hurt right now, and it's so we talk about keeping the faith, and we talk about it's in our locker room. Nobody's going to save us. A lot of people said that after some of our speeches, and they're right. We know how talented we are, but we just got to keep working and also understand that nothing's going to be given to us.
You're not an average quarterback, though. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. The way you carry yourself. I saw you last week talking ish to the other sideline.
Yeah.
So some of your favorite quarterbacks are Johnny Manziel, and college quarterbacks are Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield. Like, you have a different ish to you. It's not a normal quarterback. I want to know about that and that process. And have you always been like that? Because those are guys that are just different. And I see the same thing in your personality and game.
Yeah, I think I'll talk about it like this. Having an older brother, he's 31. He was always more talented than me at everything he did. And we played a lot of video games and competed against each other. I just became an ultra competitor because my brother was always better than me. And I hated being worse. I hated when he would, talk a little smack to me. I'd almost start to cry. I'd be so red in the face. Another part of it is my mom put me in football early. I was playing football in Oakland, California. I was 6 years old, going against 8 and 9-year-olds, and I was getting the smack kicked out of me.
You can curse if you want to.
Okay, okay. I like to cuss a little. I apologize. I was getting the shit kicked out of me, and I'd come back in the car every single day. And my brother was on the other side playing receiver, dominating, and I was getting the shit kicked out of me. And I'd come back in the car, and my mom's crying, or my mom's like, "Why are you crying?" And she's laughing at me, and I'm like, I'm getting even more mad. I'm like, "Mom, I hate football." They had me on O-line. I was playing O-line, D-line. I was the smallest kid on the field, and I was the worst. So at that age, you just put him at O-line or D-line and let him, just hold space. But yeah, and then I've always been a massive competitor, and I truly believe if you just put in the work and you set the tone for your team, especially at the quarterback position, who doesn't want to go play for someone that feels like he leaves it out there every single day, every single time we're out there? It doesn't matter if it's a bye week practice or anything. I want these guys to know that I would literally go out there and die for them. I think they know that, and I think they're showing me the same respect and the same love. And we're just a confident bunch right now. And I think I try not to talk a lot of smack until someone fires me up. As soon as someone fires me up, I have a little bit tough time controlling it, but I can always be better. I think I got the unsportsmanlike in the first quarter.
Right.
I have to say I can't comment on it, but I got the unsportsmanlike in the first quarter, and then I told our coaches, I was like, all right, I'll be done for the rest of the game. I don't want to get thrown out.
So real quick, you talk about your mother, and hopefully you don't mind me asking you this. Is that where you get your moxie, your toughness, your attitude? Is that where all that comes from?
It's my mom, but also, my dad, he played professional rugby too. And he was, he was a complete killer mindset, similar to me. He demanded perfection out of my brother and I in everything that we did. But it always started with being a good person, being kind to every single person that you meet. And, my brother and I were both pretty talented in sports, in both football and baseball. But he always talks about that, people are going to remember you for your stats and all that. But 20, 30, 40 years down the line, they want to know what's Davis or what's Dylan like as a player or as a person, not as a player. And that was something that really resonated with us. And I mean, he drilled it into our mind almost every single day. When I was staying with him, he'd drop me off at school and he would just be like, make sure you're always kind to everybody and be the best possible person you can today.
How much of what you're doing now is for him? He's recently passed, and how much of that is he didn't get a chance to see? You sign your new deal and kind of evolve to where you are. He's watching. He's watching down you for certain. But how much of what you're doing for him and Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it. I just talked about the Grey Cup, waking up in the morning, and also before bed thinking about the Grey Cup. But it's hand in hand with my dad, and even just my loved ones back home. They provide so much motivation. It's so easy. It's so easy to go out there and just do what I'm supposed to do. This is my job. I got nothing else holding me back. And I can't talk about enough about the impact that my dad had on me and just my whole family, of course. But I know my dad would be super proud. He kind of got to see me um, go through, see how hard I worked, and then he got to see me start like I think 3 games.
oh,
Um,
nice.
and come in for the one versus Saskatchewan last year. He
Hmm.
got to watch a couple of those, and he left some incredible messages for me before he passed, and just it's easy to wake up every day and fight for him, and I just feel like I have so much left in the tank. I mean, I've only started 9 games, and sure, everything it's nice, but at some point there's going to be a drop, I'm guessing, and I just got to stay true to my roots and remember what got me here.
Yeah, now that's
That's
awesome,
great. That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
you talk about those 9 games, and possibly it could have been more, and it could have been more possibly because of this hamstring injury. So let's talk
Hmm.
about that.
Yeah.
You missed 8 games. Do you personally think you came back too soon? And if you had to do it all over again, would you have come back the same way?
Yeah. Honestly, we can get into it. Feel like cat's almost out the bag. So I hurt my hamstring in April before training camp. I didn't know how serious it was. Still really don't know how serious it was, like even leading into training camp. And then I tweak it versus Edmonton. It was a pretty substantial injury, but I think because I had been dealing with it for so long, but prior to that, the healing around it looked pretty good. So
Hmm.
we were pretty confident that I think after 4 weeks I could come back. I think I missed 2 in a bye, so 4 weeks. Um, this was the first time ever in my career that I've ever missed a game. So I, my whole life I've tried to play through injury. I played through a torn labrum. I tore my UCL my senior year of college, or broke my elbow. Played through it. It's just something that was built in me, and I thought I could play through a soft tissue because I've never handled it before.
Mm,
I felt good enough to go. Um, Now we'll fast forward. I feel night and day difference between how I felt this last Calgary game and before I went
right.
into that Toronto game. So it's just all about, yeah, I would say I came back too early, but it absolutely wasn't on our training staff. They were putting their trust in me.
Right.
I'm a pretty adamant person when it comes to stuff like that, and that's part of me growing and maturing, and not believing or not or understanding that I don't know everything in the world, and I got to listen to people who are paid to do their job, of course. But yeah, I'm still not 100%. I'll be 100% honest. But
Mm.
um, we night and day difference between how I felt the Toronto game and the Calgary game.
What I say Milt on his first scramble. Your first scramble of the game,
He's not
pull it
Yeah.
good.
out the pocket, and I said right away, we were on the panel. I said, he doesn't want to open up. And you can see you
No.
kind of like stop
Yep. Yep.
steps, step out of bounds. But that, I mean, and I also said, I said, that's what you should want to do. I mean, as a quarterback, like obviously you're a athletic quarterback, you can make plays with your legs, but you
Mhm.
know, I'm a corner, he's a receiver. Like we have no choice but to fully open up, or we can't play. You can
Totally.
still, play at 85% when you're running and make
Hmm.
sure your Emmy is fully back. You don't have to, you know, open up all the way and risk doing that.
Right. And even with that being said, like if you look at it, it's crazy because I go all the way to the final play of the Toronto game
Yep. Yep.
and pop my hamstring. Like if a couple different things happen in that game, that might not even happen, and this whole thing might have never happened. But I'm honestly thankful for it. It's been an incredible learning experience. It was hard on me physically, obviously, but mentally more. But it's made us all stronger, and we just feel like we're even more close knit group.
Let's talk about that 9-0 real fast because I know you're gonna you're going to divert to a team numbers and all that. And we
This
get
is
it.
about you.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
This is some pretty rare air. I mean, we're talking, Doug Flutie didn't start off 9-0. Warren Moon didn't start off 9-0. And these guys ended up being in the Hall of Fame in the NFL. I mean, we're talking rare air. I guess let's think it back to this. When you came in you're on the PR, you're fourth string, I think it's VA,
Trevor and Dom.
Dom Davis. Yep.
Yeah, so you're fourth string at this time. I mean, how most guys, especially coming from a small school like yours, might not even get a shot to leapfrog one guy, much less leapfrog all three and be a franchise guy. Take us to kind of that mindset of you watching that and knowing your game was good enough to get there, and then where you're at now with your personal game and what you saw in yourself.
Let's talk about Trevor, Vernon, and Dom, and even AC. I feel like I learned from, those are all four starting quarterbacks, a couple absolutely legendary quarterbacks in there. And my mindset going in was just trying, because I've watched the CFL. I'm a huge sports fan. I've watched the CFL, but the nuances of the game, the waggle, the third down, the 12th defender, the wider field, all that stuff. I knew that the wider field was going to help me because I knew I had a really strong arm in college. But all I wanted to do was try and take little bits and pieces that I could comprehend and apply it to my game and let the game grow to me. I knew I wasn't going to go out there and tear it up. Luckily, I got blessed with an opportunity in the preseason game. My first time, at Hamilton, I think we were down 7. I had just had two and outs in a row. It was my final drive. And I went out there, honestly, I could swear on my life, I went into the huddle thinking, like, I have nothing to lose because if I don't do anything here, I'm getting cut. And then I'm probably, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a hard work laborer to start and then hopefully get into like some business role or something like that. We go out there and we put together an incredible drive. I think I was like 7 for 8 and I think I went 85 yards. And then we score and we go for 2. I mess up the read, still convert the drag for a touchdown. We end up losing on like a PI call or whatever with 5 seconds to go, but that was like an incredible moment for me. And I felt like
the last preseason game of your rookie year.
That was the first.
The first, okay.
And then the second one, we were down 10. No, we were down 9 with 4 minutes to go, and they put me in the game. And we scored a field goal, got the ball back with 1:10 to go, and I think I hit Fabian Guerra for like a 55-yard post to get us down to the 1-yard line. We scored again. So at that moment, I had the 2 comeback wins, and I was like, oh, I got to make the team. But actually, real quick, in the first one, I kept my preseason jersey because I was like, I don't know if they're going to cut me, but I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something.
So now we're leaving. I'm leaving without the Oscar, right? But as I'm leaving, I see the back of where they're doing getting the meal ready, the food ready for the governor's ball.
Yeah.
I see a big tray. I'm like, I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
So after the second one, a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're legit." A lot of guys on our team crowning me, but I was just so thankful to. I remember actually getting on the phone with my dad and being like, "Hey, I think I'm going to make this team. Like, I don't think I'm going to be active, but I think I'm going to get a practice squad check." And at the time, they were offering me $1,000 for the week, and I was like, $1,000 for the week is way better than 800 USD a month at Portland State. I'm like, I'm living good, and I don't have to pay for rent, And then, fortunately, I think they took me off practice squad like two weeks in, and I started getting one game. And then Vernon, I think, got hurt with his elbow. But yeah, let's get back to it. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling.
Prior to that, where this is awesome. Prior to that, were you not getting any reps? Like, were you just getting 14 reps? So before the preseason game, you really didn't think you were going to get much of a chance because of reps, or how was that going?
So we had 5 quarterbacks in camp. The other one was Ben Holmes, who went to Toronto afterwards, and then I think he's playing in the European Football League now. Our coaches did a really good job of, we call it double barrel during camp, so both sides
Right,
going.
right,
So
right.
we got a little bit less reps than obviously Trevor and BA, but and even Dom, but they still gave us like, I don't know, 8 reps of practice going into the week. VA was our starter, so he didn't travel to that first game, and so it was 4 quarterbacks playing. They told us we each got a quarter. Um, I got the fourth quarter, which I was most excited about because I'm like, all right, I can make something happen if it comes down to it. So our coaches really did a good job of actually giving everyone a fair chance, and I'm so thankful for it. But before I went to Montreal, Vernon and I had like a little bit of a connection because he went to Eastern Washington, same
Right.
conference as Portland State, and I watched him ball. And actually, my sophomore year, he came to a game in Portland State because Eastern was playing us, and he came up to me after the game. He's like, "Hey, you're a heck of a player, but you got to keep your eyes downfield. There's so many open people down there when you're scrambling around." Because I used to have some crazy scrambles in college. And meanwhile, I'm telling you, after we just lost 74-23, and I threw the most interceptions I've ever thrown in my life by far. I threw 4 in that game. And he's coming up to me. He's like, "Hey, you're an unreal player. You just got whatever." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Anyway,
You know,
so
you know who he is at the time, though.
yeah,
Know.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
So I think at this time he had just gotten to the CFL. I think I'm not. It was 2018, so I forget when but I think he
Okay.
had just gotten there.
Yeah.
But so now we flash forward, and I signed to Montreal, and because I foregoed all the pro day stuff, um, I had a couple teams that told me they were interested in me, but to be honest, I was just an arm for camp, and like I didn't care about getting the NFL shorts or the backpack or whatever. I wanted to play football, and so I told my agent, I'm like, "Hey, you get me to the CFL." Found out I was on the neg list. My I guess they put me on the neg list my junior year of college. I had no idea what the neg list was, but I was like,
Yeah, I know what you're
okay.
talking about. Yep.
I'm like, okay, just can you get me up there? So I was texting him. I was texting him like every 4 days. I'm training my butt off for pro day. I don't really have a lot of money. Like my agent wasn't willing to pay for it, of course, because I didn't have a lot going for me in that aspect. So I'm door dashing, going to train for 8 hours, door dashing again, staying at my uncle's.
Wow.
My uncle's lending me his truck. Like incredible support system there. But I'm driving this huge F-150, and I'm like the gas is eating up my DoorDash money. But anyway, so I end up getting the call that they're signing me a contract, and Vernon, because I was training in Seattle, Vernon stays in Tacoma in the off season, Tacoma, Washington, which is like 30 minutes away. So as soon as I signed, I shot him, or I think he might have shot me a message. Either way, but he's like, come out and let's get a workout in." I was like, by all means. So drive to him, and we started throwing together. And I kind of saw that I didn't say anything, of course, but I saw that my arm talent was similar to his, and I was like, okay, like maybe I kind of have a chance. Of course, you're always
So
going to
hold on.
believe
You
in yourself.
basically said if Vernon can do it, I can do it too. That's what you said.
No.
Continue.
If
I
Vernon
know
can
There's
this.
do it,
nothing
I'm
wrong with
I'm
that.
gonna go 9-0.
No,
Oh, there's
no,
nothing
no.
wrong with that.
I know there's obviously more to football than just arm talent, but I was like, this is a good baseline. If Vernon's there, then I know I can compete there, right?
Right.
And I think fast forward, I don't know, maybe right before he got traded, he came up to me in the locker room and he was like, "Hey, just so you know, like I think I'm going to get traded, but they see you as the future here. Just keep your head on right and do what you're supposed to do." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, I appreciate some." And I didn't want Vernon to leave. Like he was such a good dude to me and such a good
Right.
mentor when I was
Right.
there. But he was like, "And just so you know, when you came up to," and you could quote, you can ask him. I swear he said this. He's like, "Just so you know, when you came up to throw with me, I was like, damn, this dude's gonna take my spot." And I'll never forget that because it shaped out the way it did, and it obviously went a million different directions. But that was one of the cooler things that when he said that to me, I was like, hey, maybe I'm on track to do the right thing here.
Yes.
It's so good. We've all been there.
Yeah.
That's funny. And the DoorDash story is that's pretty
That's
remarkable.
awesome.
It makes it even better and cooler to hear you got your new contract and they took care of you. That's real. That's nice to see. Yeah.
That's
Yes,
hard
sir.
work. It's hard work paying off. You spoke of, your relationship with Trevor, with VA, and those guys have, been labeled sometimes the face of the league. If someone was to ask you, what are the traits that are needed to be the face of this league? If someone was to ask you that question, how would you
I would,
describe that?
yeah, I would say first of all, you got to start off with class act, just in everything that you're doing. Excitement, obviously, your talent has to be up there, and then work ethic. Those would be probably the four things for me. Just because class act, it's kind of the way that I was raised. You got to be nice to everybody. There's people taking their time out of their day to come see you, and what's holding you up from 15, 30 minutes of signing photos and autographs. And that's what makes our league so special is you get fans that get to come here and be with superstars and hang out with superstars, and it's just we're all individual people, and we're all fighting our own battles, and I think that's the number one thing that sticks out to me.
So you basically just described yourself, and you basically just said, "I'm the face of the league,"
I'm
right?
not the face of the league.
No, no,
I'm
no,
not.
no,
No, no,
no.
no, no,
Well,
no.
put it like this: on the panel, it's off camera. We always talk about who's the next face of the league, and we know
Mhm.
you're the face of the Owls. There's no question about that. But in my opinion, you keep doing what you're doing. You keep going down the path you're on. You are the face of the league. I mean, some would say it's Nathan Rourke right now. I understand
Mhm.
that, but with the traits you just described, you describe yourself. So I think it's safe to say you're on that path.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, that's a
And I
super,
know you're
super cool
being
thing.
humble now, but I know when we get off camera, you're going to say, I am the face of the league.
Ah,
There's
you'll
nothing
never,
wrong with that. There's
you'll
nothing
never,
wrong with that.
you'll. I appreciate that, but you'll never hear me say that. If people want to say that for me, they can say that for me. It's like Lil Baby said. He said, "Oh, he'll never call himself the GOAT."
Which player which player in pro sports is the face of the league and called himself the face of the league? Nobody.
No, I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I
Yeah,
was like, it's not Aaron Judge for the Yankees.
definitely not. Your coach, Jason Bosch. You're obviously playing for a quarterback. He's and AC as well, but playing for Jason, what's his temperament like? Jason was. I don't know how much Jason would talk about his own career. Does he ever talk about his time at Oregon?
Not
Yeah.
not necessarily at Oregon.
Yeah.
He just said he grinded it out. Like he was, I think he said the most he talks about it, like him at Oregon, was how much he went hunting there. He would skip class to go and hunt. That's what he talks about.
So I'll give you a quick one about your coach. I was a teammate at Oregon. We were together at Oregon at the same time. But Jason, he's so humble. He never talks about himself. He was one of four quarterbacks. The four quarterbacks that were there, I don't know if you'll remember these guys, but you remember Joey Harrington?
Of course.
Okay, do you remember AJ Feely? He played 10 years in the NFL. So AJ Feely was the other quarterback. And
I've heard the name, of
yeah,
course.
he played 10 years there. And then Akili Smith, who also went number 3 overall in the NFL. So
Wow.
the quarterbacks the four quarterbacks in the room were two guys that went 3rd overall in the NFL, Jason, and then AJ Feely, who played 10 years. Well, Jason beat out all of them except for Akili. So Jason was number 2, and him and Akili were battling back and forth. I think they shared the first half of the season. I think they went back and forth. Jason would start, Akili would start. They kind of went back and forth for a bit until Akili finally won the job. But that's how good Jason was. He played over a 10-year NFL vet and the guy that went 3rd overall. But he won't talk about himself, but he was
Of course.
quite the player. What's his mentality? What's it like being on him as a coach? Because he's obviously as fiery of a dude as any coach you'll have, and he played your position. So what's that
Yeah.
like? Give me some of the stuff, more of the fun stuff of him. His high passion, energy. You guys probably get into it in fun ways and
Yeah, of course. But real quick, so you were at Oregon. You were there with Dirk Cutter.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So Davis and I, this is crazy. His name's also Davis. He has a little son.
Okay.
And we were in Scottsdale together at the same time because he was the head coach of Arizona State. And we ended up being teammates at Portland State together for 3 years. So that's a little fun fact there. And now Davis is, I think, coaching for South Carolina, University of South Carolina. He was just at Texas
What
last
position
year.
did he play? Was he a receiver?
Well, he came in as a quarterback, and we switched him to receiver. And I think his junior year, before he transferred to Boise State after, but his junior year, he had 10 touchdowns. So he was stud.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about Coach Moss. First of all, I love Coach Moss to death because I think you kind of hit it. We have very similar mentalities. I'm maybe a little cooler in the streets than he is. You know, he's such a hard-nosed hunter. I don't like guns. He's a huge hunter. I'm like, you know, I'd rather be with my boys. Yeah, like that. But he demands excellence from us. And again, that speaks to me and it speaks to my character and how I want our team to be ran. And he'll call us out. And whether the times are good or whether the times are bad, you know, I think a lot of coaches are afraid to call people out when things aren't going well because they don't want a negative reaction from the team. But he's not afraid to put it all out there on the line for us. And I appreciate that so much because it takes a lot of courage to do that, and it keeps him sticking to his true values. We compete in almost everything that we do. He thinks that he can do more push-ups than me. I say there's no chance. I'll tell him he's doing half push-ups, and he'll spaz on me. He'll start freaking out, start cussing at me, and we'll just start laughing.
He's a cusser.
Oh yeah. If I'm a cusser, he's way out there. I think in 2023 we used to during team meetings tally mark for every time we used the F word. And that was a lot of fun. But no, he's just such a good dude. And he cares more than anybody in this program, in this organization. And he knows how to keep us all calm, and he knows how to motivate his players.
Right. Well, let's get into a subject that's near and dear to my heart. Some grumpy old men didn't like something that you did. You did it when you were injured, and it was doing pregame. You decided to come out with your white tank top on. And somebody on the CFL on TSN panel thought that was very disrespectful. But it's actually taken on a life of its own. We see you with your offensive lineman. I'm sure you're probably going to get a deal out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see you around Montreal driving around in your black BMW that you have now with your windows down. You get out, you got on your tank top. Let's talk about this tank top a little bit. And is this the first time you've done that, or is that something you've always done?
No, it's honestly first time I've done something like that. I don't really know. I think so when we got our place here, me and Sneed, I'll call him Tyler. When we got our place here, it was supposed to be like fully furnished, but we only got like half of it furnished. So we ended up putting in a big Amazon order, whatever, when our first check dropped. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, I don't want to always wear like Alouette gear around. Like, you know, not everybody needs to know that I'm on the Alouettes or something like that. So I'm just going to I got these Hanes tank tops. It was like 8 for $30 or something. I'm like, I'm going to just wear these. So like, since the start of the year, I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to, I put on some muscle in the off season and all that. I'm like,
right. You want to show off a little bit.
I'm going to show it a little bit. And, I was like, also, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that do that. So let's be a little different.
There's no quarterbacks who do that.
I'm like, let's be a little different. And then, it kind of just, people thought it was funny, or people, also liked the vibe. People thought it fit my vibe. It's kind of a screw it mentality. And, but it also sets the tone for our team. We want to play bully ball. We want to play prison yard football, and we want people to fear us because we feel like we can instill that on people. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm the most intimidating factor, and I'm still only 5'11", 200 pounds, 210. But it's just kind of mentality that I wanted to help. Like, obviously, I didn't know it was going to take off like this, but just a mentality that we wanted to have. Like, if we, I said after the game, I said if we pull up in white and tank tops, we pull up in tank tops.
There you go.
We have all been guilty of that.
Yes.
Yeah, we pull up in tank tops. We better, BTA. You figure out what that means, but we better show up and play. So I didn't mean to, no disrespect to anybody.
No,
I understand a quarterback sometimes is supposed to be super classy, but I'll be classy in my words and how I treat people. But I kind of want to show a little bit of a statement.
Last question about that. November 16th, Winnipeg.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Pregame, you'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
In Winnipeg, if it's minus 15, you're still going to do it in pregame.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. I got
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the quote. Grey Cup warm-ups. Davis is Al's in the Grey Cup.
Remember-
He's coming up in a tank. 34 minutes into the pod. Done.
Yes.
Tank,
Okay.
yeah.
There it is.
Either
All
tank
right.
top or shirtless, either one.
Wow. Okay.
For sure.
All right. I feel you. I feel
I
you.
love it. Anything else we got here, Beagle?
Hold on for 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was gonna wear mine. But I wanted to let you do yours.
On that note, thank you for joining us this week. Davis Alexander on the Paper Plate Show.
Thank you guys so much.